Hello, this is Kim Wade from Inner Gaze. Thank you so much for opening up. So, we're going to take a short little dive here into what's called the koshas, the sheaths, the coverings, the curtains, however you want to look at it, that sort of hold and protect and sometimes guard the true self, the Atman. So, we're going to sort of unravel this idea of the different layers of our being, remembering that when we are in alignment, when these are integrated, when we feel balanced in these different sheaths or coverings, our true self, our bliss is so prevalent in our lives. So that's what's really important here is the unraveling of these different layers. So in the ancients, they talk about the different sheaths as the Onomayakosha, which is like the physical body, the Pranamayakosha, which is the breath body, the electrical body, the Monomayakosha, which is the mental body, the Vignanamayakosha, which is some say the personality or the gut wisdom, and then the Anandamayakosha, which is the bliss. So here's the way it looks. So say you wake up in the morning and you feel very cozy and snugly true to yourself, and then you start layering on the things you have to do at work, what you're going to have for breakfast, how do you start dinner, that sort of thing. You start layering on top of yourself. It's very comparable to the way this is looked at. So let's dive a little bit deeper. So the Onomayakosha is this outer sheath. It's this big sheath. It's the food body, right? When we eat, it gets bigger. When we don't eat, it gets smaller. So we are what we eat, our physical bag of bones, our tissues, our organs, our skin, just this bag of bones. Now imagine that this bag of bones of mine is just sitting in a chair, but there's not the Kim inside of it, just a big blob, right? What makes me an animated being? What makes me move in the world? The second sheaths, the Pranamayakosha, the Pranamayakosha. Prana is like a life force. It's like the electricity in the body. If I say to myself, wiggle the toes, the movement of my mind goes down into my toes, and guess what they do? They wiggle, right? The movement of my breath, the movement of my circulatory system. It's the moving and the electricity through my body that animates this physical body, correct? And then we go into the monomayakosha. So we're starting to move from the big chunky ones into a deeper, 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 smaller and more subtle as we travel to this true self, this Atman. So here we are, we finished the pranamaya and now we're into this monomaya, which is the mental body. This is our smarts. This is our intellect. It's the way we process emotion. It's the way we judge. It's the memories of our experience. It's the way we perceive the world. And frankly, this is where most of us live. And so one of the things that I like to really focus on when I'm working with students or clients is this this monomayakosha. We get to decide how we use our mind. We get to steer our actions and our thoughts and our emotions, because what are emotions? They're thoughts that are vibrating through our body. And most of that vibration is from the past experience. So in other words, in our monomayakosha, we just keep reliving the day before and the day before and the day before. We keep reliving it unless we are mindfully directing that monomayakosha, that mental body. Okay, so moving down a little bit deeper, the Vignanamayakosha. Now, Gary Crafts, who I first learned this from, he talks about it being the personality body, but it's also the discriminatory part of our mind body, you could say. It's the part of me that knows I want ice cream, but then knows that I should or shouldn't have it, knows that I'm going to eat it, and then knows how much is good for me. It's the part that knows what morally feels right to me and what morally feels wrong to me. It's the part of me that has that sense inside of me of how it needs to be for me to feel like I'm in alignment with, again, my true self. So part of the practice of studying the Vignanamayakosha is turning on that deep inner listening, turning on that inner awareness. We can do this with, just quieting this physical body after the yoga practice, after we've moved through the physical postures, after we've done our pranayama and we've done that deep breathing, after we've used our intellect to align the body in its proper form, then we can rest and we can explore that deeper sense, again, moving more into the subtle awareness of that discriminatory body, that a gut, that wisdom, that instinctual body, and then moving into the Anandamayakosha. Now, the Anandamayakosha, in from my level of understanding, is the part of us that is in the bliss. And the bliss is described by many teachers as the feeling we have when we are restfully sleeping. It's the no beginning, no middle, no end. It's the a part of oneness where we are one with ourselves. We are one with the world around us. We are not in these more gross levels, but we are in this deep contentment. Deep contentment. It's not yet the Atman. It's not yet oneness, but it's that glimmer towards it. It's like the gate towards that true self. So Ananda. So we can explore that also here in our Shavasana or in Yoga Nidra, where we're yoga sleep, where we're actually meeting ourselves. So here are the koshas, and this is the study and the path of yoga, one of the basic fundamental ideas of how yoga is a body, mind, spirit practice. You know, so many of us Westerners teach it as an anatomy class, but then you're missing so much more than what it really is. This is the anatomy. It's the physical body, but it's also the electrical body. It's also the mind and being able to steer and drive it. It is feeling that you can trust your instincts, you can lean into it, and then remembering that we are one with these deeper levels of ourselves, and we are one with the world around us. So that's where I'm at with all this. I do have a weekend workshop coming up. And if you're seeing this video after the retreat, you can always buy it and see it for yourself. We're going to be taking this on the yoga mat. We're going to be using this weekend to spend quality time, what I like to say, remembering who we are, remembering that the path is to know who we are. It's not to align the shoulders. It's not to open the hamstrings. That's part of what happens. But the true is to get to the Atman, is to see ourselves as the divine spiritual beings that we are living this human experience. So if you want to see more about what I'm doing, you can go to innergazeyoga.com. You can check out the retreat, or you can always email me, innergazeyoga@gmail.com, and someone will get back to you. Okay, go enjoy your day. Blending, remembering. Thanks for watching. May it be of benefit to you. Deep bow.